Gautam sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. My voice is audible, right?
Yeah, it is audible, sir.
Okay, sir.
We will start in another 2 to 3 minutes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I will just let you know once we start.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very good evening to all. Gautam sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Right, sir. So, welcome to day two of our FDP on plagiarism in academic research and author identifiers. So, yesterday we discussed, Sir has given valuable inputs about plagiarism and the various types, approaches of plagiarism, and the practical approach of turnitin software. Sir has explained, and today this day will be is going to be discussed about author identifiers. So as a researcher we will be having so many identifiers to enhance our quality research articles in various websites and also to enhance our citations. So in this regard, Sri Gautam sir will be giving us some valuable inputs with regard to what kind of research, what kind of author identifier IDs are there, and how to create them, and how to use them for having some kind of good exposure of the on the research articles. Also, he will be discussing about the citations, how to increase the citations, and what are the various ways that you can increase the citations for your research paper. And I request all the participants kindly do not put any kind of messages in the chat box with regard to your professional details, because it will interrupt the flow of the discussions. And you will be given the feedback form at the end of the session. Once the session is completed, the feedback link will be shared in the chat boxes of YouTube as well as the Google Meet. So do not worry about the feedback link. Definitely it will come to you. Do not post any kind of message with regard to feedback link before the session completes. So I request Gautam sir, please go forward and give us some kind of valuable inputs with regard to this today's session, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Good evening, all the academicians, scholars, students who have joined here on this day two of this FDP on academic research and author identifiers. I hope you have received some valuable insights about plagiarism and several other aspects yesterday. So today we are going to discuss something about author identifiers. See, author identifiers is one of the very important element, right? It is also a very important aspect which each and every faculty member they have to keep up, right? And
Sir, sorry for interrupting you, sir. I think voice is clear. It seems for me it is voice is clear. Some people are messaging that voice is a little bit low.
yeah, because maybe bandwidth problems, bandwidth problem maybe.
Yeah. I think, but for all of us, voice is all clear only. Anyways, you can increase your tone, sir. No problem.
Okay, sir, no issues.
Yeah.
So, with respect to that, right, author identifiers are very much important. So, we have different kinds of author identifiers. Today, many people have come, many companies have come up with many author identifiers, but unfortunately, right, few are again, I think it has been recalled back. Not all author identifiers are a valid one. So author identifiers help us, right? It helps us in increasing the visibility of our of an author, right? Yes, of course, the visibility of your research work is decided by your citations. The visibility of the researcher, right? The visibility of the researcher is quite well established well with the help of author identifiers. So today that is the topic that we are going to discuss. So without wasting much of your time, let me start sharing my screen. So that would be better. Okay, fine. The first kind of a thing that we are going to discuss today, just give me 1 second. Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, the first kind of a thing that we are gonna discuss today is this Scopus. Right, Scopus is what today all of us are expecting. I hope some of you would have already published your research articles over there, all these things. So this is the Scopus login, and this is how if you have subscribed to the premium version or the subscribed version of Scopus, this is how it will come for you. Right. So one aspect which you should all keep in mind with regard to Scopus is that Scopus author identifier. Scopus author identifier we cannot create. You can create an account in Scopus. Right? You can create an account in Scopus, but you cannot create an author identifier in Scopus. Right? You must be very clear. Right? And you must be very clear also with regard to what is a journal and also an indexing. Scopus is basically an indexing website, right? It is basically an indexing agency, just like how your Google Scholar does. It is also like an indexing, but consider a little bit more qualitative, right? Rigorous standards. They have their own coverage policies, right? They have their own coverage policies. So, with that note, right, let us first discuss about the Scopus ID. As I already mentioned, Scopus ID is something which you cannot create or even I cannot create, right? The Scopus ID is basically created if your research is a quality. Why do I say it is a quality one? If your research is going to be a quality one, automatically your paper will be indexed by Scopus in the Scopus website. Right? When you choose one particular Scopus journal and when you say you publish it over there, and automatically what that particular journal will do, it will send all the papers to the Scopus database, telling that these are all the papers that we published for this issue. Once that is done, Scopus will further evaluate your manuscript. So that's why they have something called a Scopus content coverage policy. Right? They have something called Scopus content coverage policy. Sometimes you find your paper, right? Sometimes you find your paper is published in a Scopus journal, and the journal may also be active. It is not either discontinued or it is not like investigation mode. Okay, but still your paper may not have been indexed in Scopus, because when the journals send their particular papers to the Scopus agency will again scrutinize every article, and only if the article satisfy their requirements, it will index your article in the database. So when the Scopus indexes your article in the database, right? When the Scopus indexes your article in the database, it will generate you or it will give you an ID, which we call it as a Scopus author ID, right? Or Scopus author identifier. So that's why if you see today across many institutions, which stands for quality one, right? Which stands for quality one. Whenever you apply for an interview or whenever you apply for a job, the first question they will ask you is what? How many Scopus publication do you have? Now, immediately followed up by that, the next question which they will ask you is what is your Scopus ID? Right? Because that's what I said. Right? As researchers, we might have published our article in a Scopus journal, right? But whether your article fulfills the quality standards which the Scopus has kept so that it could be inserted. That's what we want. So if any one of you who have joined over here, if you have a Scopus author ID, you can consider yourself special, right? Because it's based on your indexing. It's based on if your paper is getting indexed in Scopus, means it's really a good one. Now next aspect. Just today, maybe 3 hours back. Just today, 3 hours back, Scopus has introduced a new feature in its website just 3 hours back, which means today, April 12th, 3 o'clock, they launched this for India especially. What they call it as a researcher discovery. Right? They have launched something today. Scopus, they have launched a new add-on feature, a new feature to the website, which is called as a researcher discovery. What is this researcher discovery? Right? We as researchers, we are dealing with various kinds of research outputs, right? Various kinds of research areas. I might be dealing with finance, you might be dealing with computer science, engineering, management, agricultural sciences, all these things. Now, right, this one, now as academicians, we might also be interested, right, in collaborating or knowing about the researchers who are among the top in that particular domain which we are doing our research as well. For example, if my research specialization is taxation, right? If my research specialization is taxation, I want to know who are all the researchers who are significant in taxation aspect, who are doing some good quality output research in taxation. Alright, I might be very much interested in collaborating with them also. So to make this process easier, only Scopus introduced something called as a research discovery feature, which was launched today, April 12 for India. I'm telling you, for India it was launched today at 3 p.m. So what is this? How do this works? Say for example, I'm just going to type a domain name, right? I'm just going to type a domain name, business management and accounting. Right? I want to find researchers who are doing good in this area. Right? I'm just going to search this and click search. Click search. Right? And you will come up. Yes. Now you find the site is getting loaded. Okay, refresh. Let us try. Okay, there was some problem. So there is some problem with the site. Okay, then no issues. We will go to see. Actually, you will get like this. Right? You will get something like the author information, right? Number of documents, total citations, all those things. But no problem. We will go ahead with the sources. Right, we will go ahead with the sources and we will search for any journal. Say for example, I'm going to type Journal of Business Research, right? Journal of Business Research, and I'm just going to click find, and I'm getting this. Journal of Business Research. I'm getting this, and we found that yes. So now you find this journal source page coming up, right? So I'm just going to click content coverage, and I'm just going to click any documents. Okay, fine. So let's see here. This year it has indexed so many documents. It has indexed so many documents. So say for example, I'm going to click the first one. The first one. The this is the document which has been indexed. Right. Now, let's wait for things to get loaded. Okay, again a problem. Again a problem. Just give me some time. Okay. Okay, let me search this guy. Okay, this. Okay. Okay, let me go to search. Let me go to search because I think there is some problem with the Scopus site. Right? Sun. Why? This is what the name I found. Okay. See, now we are getting a result. I'm just typing some word and we are getting Sun White Yuhan, right? So now I'm just going to click this author details and just let us wait for the Scopus to give its results. Okay, again let us reload. Yes. Now I hope you are seeing on my screen an author profile which by the name Sun Yuhan, right? So this is the profile which the Scopus creates for you once your article gets indexed, right? Once your article gets indexed in Scopus, and it clearly says this author profile is generated by Scopus. That's what I already told you. You cannot create a Scopus author ID. Once they index your article, you will automatically get an author profile. Now, listen. So this is what the author identifier of a Scopus. So this is, you have a thing which is called here, you have a number 5718929 2453 57189. This is what you call it as your Scopus ID or Scopus author identifier, right? This is what you call it as a Scopus author identifier. Clear? This is what is called as a Scopus audit. So in any of your thing, when you are attending for any interview for career prospects or for your what to say, career advancement scheme program, annual increment scheme programs and all, if they are asking you for a Scopus ID, this is what you call it as your Scopus ID. This is what you call it as a Scopus ID, right? This these digits we call them as a Scopus. Now this page will reveal so many things about the author, right? This page will reveal so many things about the author. Now, say for example, here you have an option called as show all author info. I'm just going to click that. So this will tell you the author's affiliation history, right? So I think this was the first year, right, in which see, from 1992 to 2022, Chinese Academy of Sciences. But at the same time, he has also been obviously author. His affiliation history, everything comes into the picture here. Because one problem with the thing, with the Scopus author profiles is that, say for example, today I am working with SRM University, right? So when my article gets indexed in Scopus, it will create an author ID with the name Ram Kumar Gautam or Ram Kumar G, SRM University. Say for example, after 5 to 10 years, I am just switching over to, say for example, Osmania University. At that time, Scopus will not be able to capture it. It is this Gautam Ram Kumar who worked 10 years back at SRM. His paper is again now, but with a different affiliation. So what it basically does, it creates another author profile, right? For same me, but here there is a different affiliation, there it is a different affiliation. So it creates another author profile for me with Osmania University. But what we can do, it also provides elsewhere recognizes this weakness, right? Elsewhere they recognize this weakness. So what they have given the option as an author, right? We have an option to merge two profiles, right? And that is what has happened with this author. I think he has published in different affiliations. He has published so many papers, but I think he has integrated everything now. He has merged all the profiles and put it under Chinese Academy of Sciences. So this author page will give you not only your author profile, sorry, author ID, it will also give you your affiliation history. This is the first thing. What are the different affiliations under which you have published a paper, right? And this shows you clearly. See, one time it has created Sun Yuan, one times it has created Sun Yuan Yi, then sometimes it has created Sun Yu Han, all such things. What this author has done, all these things are his paper only. So he has merged everything under one profile. So you can always merge your subject. The next important thing that you have to see is the subject area. What are all the subject area in which this author has published? So he has published in the area of chemistry, chemical engineering, energy, material sciences, physics and astronomy, multidisciplinary, economics, econometrics and finance, business management, accounting. So these are all the different subject areas in which this author has published this paper. So you can get those information. Now say for example, right? I find that this is our domain: business management, accounting, economics, econometrics, finance. So super fine. This author is very good, right? Now, when you scroll down, right? It shows something called as document and citation trends, right? It shows something called as document and citation trend. Document and citation trends shows you, right, every year how many documents this author has published and how many document it got indexed. For example, let us see. I think his first document was indexed in the year 1994, right? And there it is showing 3 citations, right? 3 citations, right? And it has clearly told, this black line shows you the citations. So if you see, gradually his citation numbers are increasing, and that's why many universities and institution insist you to publish in a Scopus journal, that too in a well-reputed journal, right? In the Scopus, right? So if you publish in a very good quality journal, definitely your outputs will increase. For example, in 1994 he got 3, 5, 8, 29, 17. So gradually it was increasing, right? Gradually now he has reached a stage where in 2021 alone he has received how many citations? 3,630 citations. For 1 year alone he has received 3,630 citations, which is really a very good number, right? It's a very good value in your it adds so many value and reputation. And this shows on the right hand side, it shows totally this author, right? He has around 1052 documents which are there in his Scopus database. He has nearly published 1052 articles which has been indexed in the Scopus database. This shows you the thing. See, again in 2022, 1183, 2023, 1. I think sometimes not some journals they will publish the latest issue thing. So for the upcoming year, he has already received 1 citation. And receipt check is, right, he has received a total citation of 25,629 total citation. This author's paper alone is cited 25,629 times. 18,407 documents totally cites this author at the range of 25,629, which is a very good number, right? Especially in a Scopus, right? And especially another aspect which you have to see is the H index, right? If the same article is going to be repeatedly cited, the H index will come. And this author's H index is 73. Oh my God. This is also a good number, right? Which is also a very good number, which means 73 articles are repeatedly cited. So that's why his H index is coming up to 73. He is having a H index at 73, which is a very good one, right? So these are all the things. So you have some more thing called as analyze author output, right? So it will clearly shows you a further document analyzing the authors further to know further more about the author's output, right? What this shows you, what are all the different areas in which this author has published in a clear graph, very historical manner we get. For example, most of the thing, right, yes, published in which journal? Chinese Journal of Catalysis, 28 documents totally. Then petrochemical technology. Then in that journal he has published 23. So whichever journal he has published more, that it will come. What are in which journals he has published more? Because this is what we normally expect, right? When we find some author, sir, how you are able to get so much of citations? How you are getting which journal you are publishing? Scopus itself will tell you, right? Scopus itself will tell you which journals he is publishing more. So here also you can find studies in surface science and catalyst. He has published 42 papers, right? Then fuel chemistry technology 36. So these are all the different journals in which he has published his papers. So this information also we can get from the Scopus database. Then once you scroll down, it shows a H graph, or what we call it as a H index graphs. So if normally this H index is going to be increasing, it is always good. So now you will find from 0 for this author, it has increased to 73. And this shows you the citation graphs, right? How every year citations were keeping increasing. He has reached almost nearly 3,000 in the last year. And you can get details of co-authors who are already publishing along with this person. Now, say for example, you would like to know, right? You would like to know what kind of subject areas he is doing more. You can click here subject area, and it will show you documents by subject area. So which one is more? I think he is from chemistry, right? 700 documents it is coming in chemistry, 6,000 from chemical engineering. So document the subject area wise it will tell you this author is publishing which area, right? You want to know it by year wise. Year wise how many documents, right? Year wise how many documents, this will show you year wise how many documents. 1992 one document, 1993 3. So it is gradually fluctuating, then taking up a base. 9, 17, 35, 30, 27, 48, 49, 66. So it is keep on increasing. And in 2023 we don't have, but definitely I hope this author will keep increasing. So all these things your Scopus database gives you, but only one thing you have to do is to generate. Once you have an author ID, all other outputs will automatically be generated. right? All other, but this getting this one index, this one is a very tedious task, right? If you have a very good Scopus index, it's always well and good, right? So this is what is Scopus author identifier. So here you can see in terms of 1052 documents, how many preprints, right? How many co-authors with which all those things you can find. Now say for example, sir, I want from next time, I would like to know every time this author publishes a paper, I want to get an alert, sir. Right? I want to know whenever this author publishes a paper, I just want to read and improve my research. Then you have something called as set alert. You can click on this set alert, right? You need to have a sign in. You can create, right? You can log into your Scopus ID. This account we can create, but ID alone only we cannot create. So you can create a Scopus account and click set alert. So the alert will be activated. So as and when this author publishes a paper and after it gets indexed in the Scopus, you will get a notification in your mail that Sun Yugan has published a paper. Sun Yugan has published a paper in a Scopus database. So you can look out for the article, read how they are following, what kind of methodology they are following, right? All those things. This is what with Scopus author identifier. So once this is created, all these things will automatically come. Right? So this is the latest article which this author has published, Journal of Power Sources. But the only thing which I find is a major problem, right? I don't know whether my statement is right or wrong. But the only thing which I found today, the major problem with the academicians, research scholars, is that collaboration aspect, right? Every one of us are so ambitious. So everyone wants to claim the first author position or second author position, right? Nobody is interested to coming at a consensus with regard to the author position. This is what everyone wants to surpass another, right? It's an ambitious move, right? With regard to research collaboration aspect, right? That's where the big problem lies in the Indian context. Because some people say, no, I want to be the first author. Or some people, they want to be a gift author. I hope you know aware about who is a gift author, right? They just wanted to add their name. That's it. No contribution towards the paper. Right? Which is not strongly followed in outside of India nations like US or UK. It's not like gift authorship is being because we do have I do have some international friends. Okay, without you contributing, they won't add your name. Chumma, just like that, they won't add your name. You should have some taken some time and right. You should have taken the time and you should take some potential efforts. Your contribution in the paper is very much essential. Right, contribution in the sense, it's not like again I remember a situation, right? One of my colleagues, he was when he was writing a research, when he was editing, I just asked him. I could see what is your contribution in this paper. I was just asking, right? I was just asking him what was your contribution in your research. Right, in that particular paper, he says, I am the person who wrote abstract. Right, he was literally shocked to get such a thing. I wrote the abstract, I wrote the conclusion. See, writing an abstract, writing a conclusion do not actually mean is eligible to be an author. Right, of course, you can give them as acknowledgement. I acknowledge so and so for his support in writing the abstract, writing the conclusion, but that does not constitute you to be eligible for authorship, right? So that is always there, but we could also, if you see these people, they would have not published their papers as an individual author. That's what the point which I'm trying to stress upon on this August forum is that they would have not see this paper alone. You see how many authors? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They see this author is the fifth author, which means he would have contributed something to this paper, but not right, but not equivalent to first person. So this consensus, if it can well happen in the Indian context, right, we can also come up. We can also make this possible for those who really find it difficult to get it indexed in the Scopus database. But what is the normal problem which I find, which I noticed is that everyone wants to surpass one another. Right, so there, when we have that sort of intention, collaboration will become so difficult. Right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 authors coming here, and they will publish like that. Right, whether it is sciences or even in humanities, also the same situation. Right, so we have to look for more collaborative oriented research. Right, we have to definitely dedicate. If you are really interested in moving, you are increasing your profile, right, increasing your reputation, right. When a foreign author wants to cite your paper, right, when somebody, an international audience, they want to cite your paper and you want to get it well recognized, research collaboration, it's one way, because when you collaborate even in management, one can take up introduction and literature review, one can focus on methodology and questionnaire part, one can take up the analysis, results and discussions, scope of further research. This will also help us in reducing the time, right? If one person is going to do all these things, it will consume a lot of time for complete this entire paper. But if 3 or 4 researchers collaboratively working, this time gap you can reduce. And this time gap you can utilize it for reviewing again and again. Then you submit it in the well-indexed journals. It will get accepted. Right? It will definitely get accepted. But this consensus, it's only a major thing which I found with regard to the research collaboration. So better go for collaborative researchers. And you can also look out for these kinds of people. You can send your research papers, because once you have one paper indexed in a Scopus, that too, it's not like it's a Q4 journal. I know certain Q4 journal, which even though it is a very damn poor article, but still it was getting indexed. But now Scopus has opened its eyes. Now it is not doing such things. But still, what I'm trying to tell you all is that if you have to publish, your article should be indexed, but the journal should also be a very quality one. Just like I showed you a journal of business research. Right, one example which I told you, it's a very quality journal. Right, so once that is possible, once you got the tail end of that, we can easily, okay, this is what the international audience is expecting. This is what this Scopus is expecting. So from your second article, you will find little burdenless. Same style, because when I follow this style, my article is covering the Scopus content coverage policy. So you can accordingly design your future articles that way. Right? So this is what with regard to the Scopus author ID. So once you get this, everything is possible. Clear? Fine. Now, next kind of a thing that we are going to go is with regard to the other author identifiers. Right? With regard to other author identifiers. So we have another thing which we call it as researcher ID, right? Researcher ID, which is nothing but what we call it as a Web of Science researcher ID, which comes from Web of Science researcher Publons. Right? Publons is one of the aspects of researcher ID. So this is the thing. So say for example, this researcher ID we can create, no problem. So say for example, if you have a Publons account, automatically you will have a researcher ID. So let me log into the researcher ID. So it will take you to Publons. Right? Once you do that, you will get your, say for example, I'm just going to click on Google. I'm just going to click on this. So now you find, right? Now you find, yes. Now you find an author profile coming up, and you find already this one. If you create an account in Publon, automatically it will get generated. Right? Automatically it will generate it. So this is the researcher ID B88492019. Right? So this is what we call it as a Web of Science researcher ID, which you can create with the help of Publons. Which you can create with the help of Publons. So you find totally it is actually an old data. It's been long time since I updated this, right? But only thing is, it considers this total time cited X index only if you have published a paper in a journal which is indexed in the Web of Science thing. Right? If your journal is indexed in any of the Web of Science indexing things, then only it will count. See, other Google Scholar counts, it won't take into consideration. Right? It will show what are, but you can still add your publications to this profile. So this is what you call it as a Web of Science researcher ID. And you can also add your peer reviews. So say for example, I have been a peer reviewer for some of the journals. So as soon as I become, as soon as I review the article and submit my review decision, right, I will update it in my portal. So totally, of course, I have reviewed so many number of articles than the count which has been shown here, right? But it is here it's showing I have reviewed 19 articles. But to be honest, I have reviewed more things because as I already told you, I have not updated this profile for nearly more than 2 to 3 years. I have not updated. Right? So you will get the reviews. It will show the reviews fields. Right? It will show you the author identifiers, institutions, then metrics. Right? What is my metric? See, this was the last time. Right? 2019. What is the impact public? This all I have not yet updated. So this will tell you how many times your articles has been cited. If your article is cited, this diagram will go up. Right? Web of Science document. This is what is very much important. Right? If you have any publication which is coming in which is part of Web of Science, if you add that, it will come with one Web of Science documents 1. If it got cited, automatically all these things keeps on improving. All these things keeps on improving. Right? So review metrics, just how many peer review, verified review. Right? It's not like you can add the reviews, you have to submit. There is a committee with the Publons which will evaluate your reviews. Based on the review only, these things will be coming. So verified reviews can get average review length, right? So it will tell you all those things, right? All reviewers, what is the average number of words per review, right? All those things you can get in this Web of Science. So this is your Web of Science researcher ID. Right, so this it will show you the publication, peer review, what are all the journals you have done. 8 more is under for verification. So this is with regard to your researcher ID, which is what we call it as a Web of Science researcher ID. Now Web of Science is what trying to do. It is now moving all the profiles which has been from Publons to a new thing called as Web of Science researcher ID. say your Web of Science, your Publons profile is moving to Web of Science thing. So soon we will be again. This is going to happen only this month in the April 2022 only. This is going to happen. Once this is done, Publons profile will be integrated with the Web of Science. So this is what you call it as a Web of Science profile, and this will be a really good value. This will be a really value thing if you have a publication in even non-Web of Science. Publons considers, but still, if you can index it, see if you can publish a journal which is part of any of the aspect of Web of Science, this profile can help you in getting a better. Fine. This is your with regard to your Publons. The third kind, which is a common one, right, which any one of us can do, is ORCID ID. ORCID ID. This is this one again. Everyone can register and create. Right, ORCID ID is another identifier, and this is the ID which I will tell every one of us should have. ORCID ID is something which every researcher, every academicians they should have, because even Scopus Web of Science, they are keeping this ORCID ID as a base. When you have an ORCID ID, you can link your ORCID ID with the Scopus as well as Web of Science ID. You can link your ORCID ID with the Web of Science, right, or a Scopus ID. You can integrate your profile there also. This again, right, this again is free to create. Anyone can register and create. For example, let us go. I click sign in. You can so this is my ORCID ID. You will get a 16-digit number, all right? Which is this. This is what we call it as your ORCID ID. So you can get all your informations, invited positions, right? All these things you can get it done, right? All these things you can get it done over here. You can add your publications also, and here you find right, my author ID, Scopus author ID, researcher ID, everything, because that's why I said ORCID ID is like a base. Nowadays I could say even what to say, today even journals, when you are submitting a paper, they are asking you the ORCID ID also. So you have an ORCID ID, so when you have an ORCID ID, you can automatically link your thing with the Web of Science researcher ID as well as Scopus ID. Right, so this is ORCID ID, and it's a very useful one, and it is also free to create. And every time when you go for when you submit a journal, right, you also mention them the ORCID ID, whether they are asking or whether they are not at all asking. That is not at all a big deal. You can still create an ORCID ID. You can create your account and you can improve your profiles also. So if you click this option, preview public record, this is how your page will appear. For and say for example, if somebody is outside is seeing my profile, this is how it looks for them, right? So this is how it looks for them. Yes. So here also you can add peer reviews. So I have totally 6 reviews which I have conducted, which is also a very good publication, ITA publications. So all these things you can get it from this research ID, ORCID ID, right? What are the keywords which you would like for your author profile to get discovered? So I have kept like Gautam Ramkumar or Gautam G. Ramkumar, both the goods and services tax, which is one of my taxation research areas. So you can always keep this, and this will also be, this is like a base. To be honest, this is like a base. You can, this base you can link your ORCID ID with the researcher and Scopus ID as well. Right? So this is the another author identifier. So far, I think we have discussed. Right. So far, we have discussed three aspects. Right. So far, we have discussed three author identifiers. One, which you call it as a Scopus ID. Another one is your Web of Science ID, and then the ORCID. So these are essentials for academic reputation. Like these are like food, clothing, and shelter. If you would like to shine in your academic arena, you would like to get yourself discovered in your research thing, you should have these things. Just like for how for survival, food, clothing, shelter is important. For author, for shine yourself to increase your reputation in research, these three IDs are very much important. Scopus ID, author ID, Web of Science researcher ID, and the ORCID ID. Right? All these things are very much important. Right? Now, apart from this, there are also several other things, several other IDs which are quite so popular, which can also give you the valuable insights. Right? Which can also give you some valuable insights. Which can also help you in boosting your academic reputation. Which one such ID is what you call it as a research gate ID. Research gate ID. So let me share my screen again. Right. Let me share my screen again. Yes. So this is right the research gate. This research gate is basically for sciences, but still we can add our thing. We can get ourselves discovered. So again here you can create your login ID and password. So I'm trying. I forgot the password, but let me try to find out whether it is correct or not. Otherwise, I will try in some other password also. Sorry, it's wrong. So let me try it out again. Okay, now I got it. Yes. So this is what is called as your research gate ID, which is a very essential one. And this research gate, they have a score, something called as a research gate score, what they call it as RG score. So based on, you can upload your publications in this thing. And based on the visibility, how many readers they read and how many people read your article, how many people download your article, how many people cites your article, this course will keep on increasing. Right? 4.59, which is quite comparatively a very low score. But I can show you some other things. So this will have an overview about basic introduction, what is your language, disciplines, skills. So we are, say for example, totally I have nearly 4,915 reads, right? Which means 4,915 people have read my article, which has got 7 citations, right? Which has got 7 citations, and it has got 19 recommendations, and my total research interest is calculated, which is 15 point, right? Which is 15.9, which is a really good one. So you can add everything here: project, lab, preprints, conference papers, proceedings, everything you can add. See, you have all these kinds of, say for example, you have done a poster and you want to upload a poster, you can do that. You have done a PowerPoint presentation and you want to add a PowerPoint slide, you can do that. You have a draft or paper before where you preprint, that is there. You want to upload your data, table, image, sequence, etc. Any other thing, code, cover page, experiment, everything you can add, even your thesis also. So once you do that, you will have so much of visibility. Published thing, like you have a published patent, posters, negative results, methods, experiments, data coverage, conference papers, all those things you can upload it in your in your research gate. So this is a very rich score, which is this is also a very quality oriented site. I'll show you this person. I see this person as my inspiration also. Justin Hall, sir. Justin Hall, sir. He is one of the very popular person. He is from India only. He completed his, I think, IIM Ahmedabad, if I'm right, and now he is currently working as a distinguished professor. Right? See his research score coming up. He is from business management domain only. You find his thing. It's 40.85. Right, which is quite a very high score, and C is reached 5,03,510 reads, 7,467 citations. Research interest itself is coming 8,727, and recommendations is 2,360. Such a vibrant researcher, and is chief editor of International Journal of Consumer Studies, which is among the top. It is a A+ journal in ABTC. A+ category, right? And it is he was awarded by the Web of Science as the most cited researchers, right? He was cited he was given an award for the most cited researcher in Web of Science, right? For this year, most cited researcher award he has been given. Right, such a vibrant person from business management accounting domain, right? And see, yes, associate editor of European Management Journal, International Journal of Consumer Studies. He has 13 projects, 266 research items, 90 questions, 44 answers. So these kinds. So this is really a matter of thing. Research just and this is one. This is like a Facebook for researchers. Right, ResearchGate is like a Facebook or an Instagram or such things, like a social media for a researcher. Right, you can collaborate with many researchers on all these things. Such a wonderful person, which is really appreciable also. Yes. So this is his ResearchGate, and it will tell you what are all his research works. What are all the research articles that he has published, right? Then it will also talks about his experience. He is now currently working as professor of University of Washington, right? But I think he did his research degree in India, but now I think he's completely settled in US, and he's now completely right. For the better income. So see his research gauge score, it will tell you your research gauge score, H index, all those things. Okay, so all these things you can go ahead with research gate, which is a very beautiful way of another author identifier also. Right, but gradually it will increase. No need to worry. Once, but only thing is you have to put your full paper, make it publicly visible, so that it will get more things. So this is a research gate ID. Right, this is a research gate ID, which is one of the another author identifiers. Which you can see the stats also. Stats will tell you what is the total. So see, in this week I have it is at a peak. Right, this week we have got last week it was telling 194 plus 194 citations, and last week plus 0.2% there was an increase. Right, total reads is this much. A full text read, other reads, right? People who are read your publications, it will tell you who are all the researchers who have latestly read your publications, right? All these things you can get to know through the ResearchGate. So from which country papers are being read? So for example, if you see, most of my papers are read from India. People from United States have also read my paper. People from Philippines have read my paper. Which institutions more? Ratnabel Subramanian College, Coimbatore Jayanti College, SRM, my own university, right? Discipline wise, right? It will tell you, right? Country wise, it is telling United States, Philippines. These are the people who are top readers for my articles. Then, of course, you have Hong Kong, Malaysia, Brazil, Oman, all such things. Right? I got also one reader from China, which is a really good one. Right? Discipline wise, from which domain? Business, economics, marketing, risk management domain, water science people have also done. And a very important, interesting aspect, postdoctorate fellow scholars have read my most of my papers. Right, postdoc is completely considered one step ahead of the PhD. Right, once you finish PhD, you go for a postdoc. So I feel very happy that most of the reads are from postdoc, right? Personalities. So all these kinds of statistics you can get it from the research gate, right? Which is a really good one. And this is the RG score. And I have again, I will tell you so many research articles I have not yet added. You would have definitely felt seeing somewhere it showed 17, some here it is showing 18. Then we saw in archive it was showing 21. So many things I have not yet added. But still, research gate ID can give you more insights. So that is the thing. With regard to the researchers, you can follow your fellow researchers. And another important thing which I would like to insist upon all academicians is that when you want to collaborate with your academic faculty members, right, in a social media, better recommend you people, as we are all professionals, we are all academicians, right? I would request you to connect yourself with your fellow colleagues in platforms like ResearchGate, LinkedIn, instead of preferring a Facebook or a WhatsApp, right? And this is another thing which the foreign people do, right? It doesn't mean they do not collaborate in Facebook, but most of their academic, professional related things, everything is happening in through these kinds of academic social media platforms like ResearchGate, LinkedIn, right? If you see people like Justin Paul, which I shown previously, sir used to always be very active only in LinkedIn, right? Only in LinkedIn as well as in the ResearchGate. So we have to change our mindset. We have to start using such kinds of platform. Right, we are all professionals, so we have to choose such kind of platform. It's not like I'm marketing a ResearchGate or a LinkedIn, but the professionalism we should exhibit over there. See, when we want to connect with our fellow colleagues, why can't we connect? When we can connect with Facebook, why can't we connect with our LinkedIn? Why can't we connect with our ResearchGate? Why can't we post our achievements, everything there? Right, it is a professionals platform. It is a researchers platform. Why can't we post your achievements, all those things there? That sort of professionalism still I could find it is missing, right? Which I feel thing. And most the thing when I also insist my friends what it has nothing to do such kinds of a thing which was answering. See, this is all the thing which will lift us towards further more enhancement of our research quality, all such things, right? Just like how we are casually interacting in a WhatsApp or in a Facebook, the same should happen. Your ResearchGate or your LinkedIn should become like that. As we are academicians, as we are researchers, it should happen there. Rather than I'm not telling don't use Facebook and all. It's all good for to connect with our relatives. We cannot connect with our relatives on LinkedIn or ResearchGate or with our friends. But professional wise also we should concentrate. We should start how to utilize those kinds of platforms. So many things. Right here, I am a researcher. I can recommend, say for example, my university colleague is coming and you can recommend their article, they can recommend your article, right? Such kind of a thing you can do, right? Such kind of things. That is what positive spirit. But what again is the problem? Again, as I already mentioned, every time people want to surpass one another instead of collaborating. Everyone wants some way or the other, they want to surpass one another in that they are completely missing the essence, right, of using this play these kinds of platforms. I do personally know how once I show this, I know many people who created and started using, which I felt really happy. Right? When I created this and when I was sharing all these things, right? Oh, such thing is existing, then let me also go there and create. Right? At least out of that competitiveness they are doing, I was really happy. Right? I was really happy. At least because they want to be competing with me, they are doing this, I'm really happy. Because these kinds of platforms should become like a casual talks between the professionals. This is what really happening with for international missions when between international researchers. This is so. In future, when you are collaborating with your academic community, your own fellow colleagues, there is nothing wrong in in connecting with them in Facebook or thing, but make your conversations, casual conversations, happening in such kinds of professional platforms like LinkedIn and ResearchGate. So this is really a good approach, an healthy approach towards increasing the academic reputations, right? So professionals, we can get connected with ResearchGate and then we can find so many number of researchers, right? You can now, I already told you, you can use a researcher discovery option which is there in this Scopus. Try to find topmost artists, try to find them profiles in ResearchGate, try to collaborate with them, try to speak with them, right? Try to follow their upside, just like how we follow our role model leaders. Every update we find, just follow their upside. Professional ways, we have to be little bit more ambitious so that we can also able to achieve all sort of reputations which is there in the academic. So this is with regard to the ResearchGate, right? ResearchGate actually. So the next kind of a thing that we have, right? The next kind of thing, which is I guess most of you must be aware, right? Which is created by the last one, which I'm going to share as an author identifier. Two things, sorry, it's not last thing. There is also one more thing. All right. Okay, fine. Let me go to Google. Okay, now see, you have one more thing which is a very common, which is a Google Scholar. I hope most of you must be aware about this. Right, this is a Google Scholar. Right, Google Scholar is a very fundamental aspect where your article gets cited. Right, if you find any journal, if you publish a paper in any journal which is not getting indexed in Google Scholar, it means it is an unworthy publication. Because it, right, because, right, Google Scholar basically index all kinds of publications, right? So Google Scholar, and Google Scholar provides you some insights also, right? So we have, you can, the citations aspect, you can see it here. It will have an H index. See, 2 articles are cited many times. So my H index is 2. Right? Then, and 2 articles is cited equal to 10 or more than 10 times. So I also get an I-10 index of. So my total citations is 29. And my I-10 index is 2. This is what most people will also expect, right? So the citation aspect you can check out here. So I-10 index. What is an I-10 index? You can see I-10 index is the number of publications with at least 10 citations. The second column as the recent version of this metric, which is the number of publications that has received at least 10 citations in the last 5 years. So I have 2 publications which have received at least 10 citations. So my item index is 2. Right? So all these things. That is a lot in your research activity. And Google Scholar, you don't have an ID, but this will be your Google Scholar profile, which I show on the top. Say for example, if I'm going to copy this, and if I go to a new tab, and I'm just going to click paste, it will take me to my profile. So when you say Google Scholar, you just have to copy paste only the link, right? You don't have specific digits like number, which is that. But I think you can consider this as this thing, but this will look awkward. So better share the link itself. Alright, so this is with regard to the Google Scholar. You can add whatever is your research area, you can add it over here and you can get it done. Right, and if you want to change it by year wise, you want to show the citation, it will show. Or if you want to display your profile by number of items which has been cited many times, you can keep it by here. Right, you can keep it here. So there are a few articles which have not properly received citations. So it will show you how many citations every year. For 2018 it is 6, 4, 4, again 12. 2021 we have got so many citations, and in 2022 as of now it's 7. So I feel this is quite better at a budding age. It is quite a good number for me. But still, I still feel I have to improve a lot. So this is with your Google Scholar. Then the last aspect, which I think most of you must be aware about, the author identifier, right? Which another ID which you must be aware about, which is created by Inflipinet Center, which we call it as a Vidwan ID. Vidwan ID. Right? But for this Vidwan ID, they will evaluate and only then they will create. This is called as a Vidwan ID. Vidwan ID is be used as a database by many institutions to get information about academic fraternity, right? But I think they will have the login as expert. Okay, so I'm going to login. You can log in. You can create an account in a Vidwan, but they will take some time to evaluate your thing, and only then. Okay. Okay, go on. Remember LinkedIn passwords. Let me check. Oh. Yes. No. Okay, authorize. Yes, okay. So this is what your Vidwan profiles will look like, right? This is what your Vidwan profile will look like. So you can add, you will have a profile score based on your uploads. You will have a profile score, right? You can add your expertise. You can add, this is like your CV, right? This is like your academic CV, right? Your Vidwan ID, right? You can have your personal CV, everything is under person expert with regard to the academic identifier, because I think I missed to include this thing, Scopus ID. So because of which it is not getting added, right? So whatever honors, awards, so based on your thing, automatically this code will link you will get this Vidwan ID also. But they will verify, and only after verification they will add. You will get this ID, right? Say for example, let me click on home. Right, you can create an ID, but it will take some time to appear in the website. See, in their search engine box. After verification only they will add. Say for example, I want to search a researcher expert name, right? I want to type Gautam Ram, typing my name Gautam Ram. Only after verification, they will. I feel they will add it. So if I see here, I have 33 people with the name Gautam Ram Kumar. Similar things are coming. So what I can check, I can look out for. I can further filter it down, right? See, there is only one Gautam Ram Kumar under the category of research scholars. Then just click refine. So now your profile will appear. So which means they have verified this one, right? They have verified this profile. They found it. They were given my expert ID. They have verified this one, so it will get added. Right? They will take some time for verifying your profile. Once they are fine and once they are comfortable, they will create a profile here also. So you can click on this thing and you can create a Scopus. This is a Bitwan ID. This is Bitwan ID, which will tell you also about so many. See again here also what you find? You find Arcade ID, Researcher ID, Google Scholar, and Scopus. See that's what I said. Arcade, Scopus, Web of Science is like food, clothing, and shelter for your research. It's like food, clothing, and shelter for your research, and you can go ahead with that. So I think I have shared most of the author identifier profiles. The another task which I was asked to share today is with regard to I have let me stop sharing my screen, and I think with regard to they have asked me to suggest some tips with regard to the citation, increasing the citations, right? Increasing the citations aspect. So let me try to come on video because no longer I want me to share the no need for any more sharing with regard to improving the citation aspect, right? What I would like to suggest with regard to increasing the citations is that first important thing to increase your citation is the topic, on what topic you are writing your research article, right? What topic you are going to write your research article, or what broad area, not broad area, I should not say broad area. What topic you are going to write your research article. If you choose, if you are writing a research article which is a contemporary trending, right, then obviously you would find those articles getting cited, right? Say for example, in India, what is the contemporary trend which is happening, or what is the contemporary trend which is revolutionizing your industry? For example, you can talk about in business management domain, you can talk about artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, machine learning, right? Six Sigma. Six Sigma is also outdated, but still it has some relevance, right? All these things, what is their relevance, how they are going to change our businesses and business activities. See, normally our research is basically confined to consumer oriented, right? We narrow ourselves, finding some employees, collecting the data, focus, divert your thing. There are many issues which businesses are facing, right? Corporate companies are facing. It's not like every time you have to talk about employee satisfaction, employee turnover, work-life balance, right? There are many issues from the, as a company I am facing so many issues and I'm expecting some sort of solutions. Identify such kinds of a thing and do a research and come out with solutions, right? So that will have a very good impact. That will increase the chances of the probability of increasing the citations. First one. Second thing, right, is with regard to your journal selection. That is again a very important aspect. I remember one thing. Topic is something related to inventory management. Journal published is Yoga Science Journal, right? Paper is related to inventory management, but the journal is Yoga Science Journal. What inventory management has to do with yoga science? I am not criticizing that your article is bad. See, you might be writing a very good article. I am not talking about the quality of your article. Your article might be very much nice, but you are putting them in a different platform. You are doing research in commerce and you are publishing papers in computer science, all such things, which is not recommended. Right? Publish in your own related domain, some business related domain or management. Even don't go for multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary, you keep it as a last option, right? Unless otherwise, just focus on your own related domain journals. Commerce means management, commerce, marketing related journals. That will have a very good significance because people, people will look first, right? First only they won't go and search in a computer science journal for a commerce article, right? So that's it. So journal selection is such. So when you are selecting a journal, again you have to look out. First the thing you have to, the basic consideration which you have to look is whether it is indexed in Google Scholar. First the basic criteria, initial screening. Second initial screening, whether they have DOI, digital object identifier, whether they have impact factor. These three things is sufficient. Then fourth, indexing. Apart from Google Scholar, at least they are getting indexed in any like Scopus, ProQuest, even if it is not Scopus or above, whether it is Scopus or ICI, all systems. So you have to select the right journal. So when you have a contemporary trending topic, one thing. Second aspect, contemporary trending topic. Second aspect, journal selection. Third important aspect, once your article gets published, share it in social media. The link, just like how we forward links in WhatsApp. No? That's why I said you should maintain a professional social media. You should be active in professional social media like LinkedIn or ResearcherGate. So when you apply, as soon as you publish and when you upload those papers, right? When you upload those papers in those websites like ResearcherGate, OrCid, it will improve your reputation, right? It will improve your reputation. So automatically people will see your article, they will read the article and they will cite your article as well. They will increase. So these are some of the ways through which you can increase your citation. Another one, the fourth tips which I will give you for increasing your citation is to go for a research collaboration. And this is where you have to be really careful. If your research collaboration is going to be wrong, it's going to be a mess. It's really going to be a mess. If you are choosing anyone, right, have 3 collaborators at least, you plus 2 people. And those 2 people should be working. They should be ready to work. They should be willing to search literature. They should be willing to do the methodological work. They should be. It's not like I will sit there without doing any work. You just have to add my name. Then your research collaboration will not give you any sort of report. It will give you only 0. Right? Such kind of. It is like a rigorous process. Research collaboration is like a rigorous process. Identify 1 or 2 people. Alright, and join as a research collaboration, and you can definitely improve your research outputs, right? The quality. Initially, see, all those researchers who are popular today, in an early part of the career, you should remember they would have also started their career like this, like the early career, which is not aware about everything. that only they would have started. But it is because of the continuous hard works and efforts, right? They have gone to this position. So everything is possible, but only area you need to identify the right people. They should be willing to work, right? They should be at least every day. They should be willing to commit at least 1 or 2 hours for the research. Sit, research, do research. You can have such kind of people as research collaborators. And this is where I say already this is problem. I will surpass you or you will surpass me. See, this kinds of concepts won't you find there. See, I shown one person, Sun Yuhan. He's the fifth author, right? He has more number of H indexes. H index is 73, but he's a fifth author. He's a fifth author, right? Do not bother about your CAS, all those things, right? Of course, for that we will do something else. We will plan strategically for our to improve our APA scores, all such things. Sorry, not API scores, all such things. But if you want to go for a real research, real reputation, right? These things needs to be followed, and don't go for a cloned journals which says we will publish fast. You pay 10,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees for author question, all these things. Right, that thing. Right, today universities, I don't know why institutions they are pressurizing every semester, every month you publish. For that sake, you go there to satisfy your institution. You do that. But to become really a very recognized researcher, like how I showed one example, Sun Yugan or Justin Paul, these are some of the ways which I feel if you follow these kinds of steps, I think we can definitely improve your citations automatically. It's there. We saw one person, right? In Sun Yugan. This year alone, 2021 alone, he has got 3,216 citations. Citations won't be a problem. You will come the citation site is just like that. That is a well-known fact. Oh, 3,000 citations. That is known fact. From one citation, you will now say 3,000. This is just normal. Right, but still start working also. Right, so this is what I would like to say for today's session. Right, so with this note, I would like to take an opportunity to thank once again the Department of Library Sciences as well as the Indian Institute of Management and Commerce for creating this wonderful opportunity for this academic fraternity to learn something new or to update themselves. Right, for some of you it might be an existing knowledge, for some of you it might be a new knowledge, for some of them it will be this 2 days could have been an updated knowledge, all these things. So and I hope these 2 days FDP has benefited you all. I was also really happy to see a good number of audience attending this program, right? And despite this being after just most of you would have just come back home after your regular working hours, but you have shown your commitment in joining this program and attending this, right? So I feel this as one of the thing. So with this note, I conclude my session today. So let us go for a question and answer session, right? So that would be, if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Over to the organizers.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Gautam sir, can you hear me?
Sir, your voice is low.
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Now better, sir. Now better.
Okay, sir. Yeah. I request all the audience, you can just ask any questions here. Now you are permitted to speak. If you have any questions, you can ask.
See, Mendeley citations is nothing but, see, Mendeley is also like your research gate only, right? You can also create a profile, you can create academic collaborator. You can just like your research gate only Mendeley. But if you have a Scopus ID, you can go there also. Thank you so much for your wonderful feedbacks. I feel really happy and blessed to get all these kinds of feedback. Yes. Sir, during the thesis writing or writing any article, can we use related information on the research gate and keep it as reference? No. See, ResearchGate is not an, what to say, it's not an, it's like, I told you, right, it's like a Facebook kind of a thing for researchers. Right? No, once the people upload, no, once I upload my paper in the ResearchGate, it automatically means I am permitting others to use that work. But you have to give a proper citation. Right? You can cite the journal, but have you seen somewhere in citations retrieved from? There you have to give the ResearchGate link. If you are not retrieving the article from the journal database, instead of retrieving the article from the journal database, you are retrieving the article from ResearchGate means retrieved from link, URL, that there you have to give that research article. But once you read a full paper in a ResearchGate means, it means I am permitting you to. Otherwise, I can keep it like a private text. You have to request me and I can share you personally. In ResearchGate, that facility is available. But once you find a full text coming up, it means it is open for use.
Some of the participants are asking your
Mendeley software is necessary for research scholar. Yes. It's not like Mendeley software is necessary for research scholar. I would say a reference management software is necessary for a research scholar. Right? No, when you are writing definition, no, you have to put them in double quotation. Put them in double quotation and put the author. That's what I said. It should be in the form of a quoted work. It should be in the form of a quoted work. Definitions. Because somebody else is giving definition, right?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Sir, this is Deepa from Pollachi, sir. I have one small doubt, sir. Your session is excellent. I have one small doubt, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, if we are written already age in my paper.
Okay.
If I check plagiarism, again age it shows the plagiarism report, sir. How to avoid those things, sir?
Yes, that's a good question. And that's what we were discussing yesterday also. See, age, gender, these are all generic terms, common terms.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes,
these
sir,
are all excluded as a part of plagiarism as per UGC regulations. UGC regulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you need not worry about that aspect as plagiarism. You can inform your librarians highlight such as plagiarism, make your librarian aware about UGC regulation. It says generic terms.
Yes, sir.
You can take even the medical sciences, right?
Yes, sir.
They have scientific terms.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So they cannot give for take for example hibiscus. It has a scientific term. If
yes, sir.
Hibiscus means they have to give the same botanical name only. I cannot give a different botanical name for hibiscus. Another author cannot give a botanical name for hibiscus. It has to be same.
Yes, sir.
Same name only, age and gender. So you definitely
yes.
You can exclude that part of you can exclude that from the aspect of plagiarism.
Yes, sir. Yes. Even name also showing as a plagiarism report.
That's what those things should be excluded. So when you are submitting,
yes,
don't give your name, designation, all those things and all. Remove that and go for plagiarism.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Sir, I am Dr. Selvam.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what is the impact of plagiarism, sir?
What is the
Impact.
Impact of plagiarism. See, that is the impact. Plagiarism tells about your what to say. It talks to you about your academic integrity, whether you are academically honest or not.
Okay, sir.
Right. See, when you are plagiarized, it means you are copying somebody else's work and telling, I only did this work. It's like a cheating.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
Okay, sir.
that's why you should avoid that. It will damage your reputation.
Yeah, definitely, sir.
So that's why people, what is the problem with say plagiarism is some people do it intentionally, some people do unintentionally. That's why UGC came up with these kinds of regulations to make people aware about these kinds of things so that they won't commit this mistake again and again.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll share my mobile number as well as my email ID for you all. Yesterday itself, your site mic is problem.
Madam, can you please send your query in the chat box, madam?
I have shared my mobile number as well as my email ID. Yes. Okay, sir. Is it used to see? I think yesterday itself I have answered. Don't go for if you are going to check your thesis or some important research work which will help you. Say for example, research scholars, they have to submit 2 papers, right, for their thesis submission. So such kind of important things, don't use free softwares, right? You take help of librarian. Other things, no issues. For a normal journal publication, you can use because still we can reduce that, right? So that is it. Sir, please tell some paraphrasing tools. Yesterday itself I told you article spinner is there, right? That is one such thing which I would say it's good, it's free. See it again, sir, while submitting the paper, it is mandated to write a separate letter to the editor. Again, it depends upon journal guidelines. I do know certain journals which will ask you for a cover letter and also the manuscript. Some journals will directly ask you for the manuscript. Both are possible, right? Both are possible. So check with the journal guidelines if they ask you to write a separate cover letter, and that itself could be a very separate topic. Because if your cover letter is poor, no, editors normally they receive so many number of editors, no, they receive so many numbers of articles every day. So they will maximum try to screen everything and eliminate. Pick the odd man out. That's what they do. So one such way they will read the if journals is asking an cover letter for your editor, right? The editor will read the cover letter. By reading the cover letter itself, he can come to a conclusion whether he should proceed further reading your article or he should reject. So designing your cover article is also a very important area which requires very special attention. And if that is going to be done, if that is asked, you have to be really careful. You should write your letter in such a way that the editor gets impressed and you should go to read your article. Sometimes your article may be good, cover letter is very poor, right? So that is the thing. Sir, we have to No. See, first the thesis you have to get with the help of your librarian. First the place where you have to get your thesis updated is what? Which one? First place you have to get your thesis updated is Shodh Ganga, not anywhere else.
Hello, sir.
Please, yes, madam, please.
Sir, we give proper reference of someone else's paper in our paper, still is covered in the plagiarism.
No, madam, that's what. See, you should not give reference only at the back. You should also do in-text citation. Inside the text also you should properly cite. Only then the software it can match what the softwares will be do know. When you give under bibliography or reference, you keep it as one means this one author name, it will try to match it inside the text. what normally people do a mistake, no? They will add it in reference, but they don't put it in text. So at that time, what the software thinks, this author has given first reference, but this reference I cannot find inside the text. So it will show you plagiarism. It will show you plagiarism.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Sir, which is better, Scopus or Web of Science?
Both are equivalently good in terms of their own thing. Right? With regard to impact factor, Web of Science is good. Both are equivalently good. It's like asking, right, sir, heart is important or brain is important? Both are equally important. They have their own specialities. So both are equally important, but with regard to impact factor, Web of Science is quite so more reliable.
Okay, sir. One another my question. Sir, जो हमारी citations होती है,
Yes, madam. Tell me.
जो हम जी सर,
Yes, citations. What is your
जो सर जैसे कि मैंने खुद पेपर पब्लिश कर दिया है, तो अब मैं उसकी citation increase करना चाहती हूँ, तो how it possible?
See, that's what I already said. If you want to increase the citations, right, on a contemporary topic, what is the latest trend which is happening? For example, you can write how Ukraine-Russia war is impacting the business activities, how it is affecting the businesses, how it is affecting the business activities in India, which is involved in international trades. See, such kind of topics can help you in boosting your citations.
ओके सर, सर एक मिनट, कहने का मतलब कि अगर मैं कोई अपना पेपर पब्लिश करती हूँ तो वो अगर मैं मतलब कोई और उसको डाउनलोड करेगा तो क्या वो साइटेशन कहलाएगी?
Downloads is something different. All these downloads are part of something. We have something called as alt metrics, right? Downloads you can download. Downloads has nothing to do with citations. Right? I can download your paper to read the article, but I need not necessarily cite. I will download your paper. After reading, I find it is not worthy citing. Right? So it doesn't mean if I get one download, automatically I will get one citation. No. I will read. Downloading, I will read your article to find whether it is suitable. If it is suitable, I will take that article further for citation. Otherwise, it will just be a download. That's it.
Okay, sir. One another question. Orchid ID.
Yes.
ऑर्किड आईडी सर, ऑर्किड आईडी जो होती है वो किसके लिए होती है, मेन पर्पस क्या है?
See, ORCID ID is basically the author identifier thing. What is the contribution of this researcher towards the research community? That is what the ORCID ID intends to do. Right?
And the academia is a?
Academia. But compared to academia, ORCID is quite so popular. Academia is also a good one. Academia is also good. And it's all like, again, these people are private people, right? Even if you take Scopus, it's an indexing database of a private company, which is an LCD. So it's all that thing. So ORCID is most recognized, right? It's one best way recognized because everywhere, even in Scopus, Web of Science, they ask even the ORCID.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot. Thank you, sir.
So, sir, what is the difference between reference, bibliography, and citation? What is in-text citations should be added in references. For bibliography, it's not required that I have read this book, but I have not used it in my paper. I have referred, but I have not really done in my paper or article. That you can include in bibliography. So when you say references, number one, that one in-text citation should be there inside the thing. But with regard to bibliography, you can add books. Say for example, to write how to write a research methodology, you would have read the research. You would have read the research book. You would have not taken the line and used it here. But you would have read the research methodology book to understand what is research methodology, how to structure it. You may not use the exact terms, phrase, or ideas as things. So those things will cover bibliography. And citations is nothing but how many times my paper is cited by some other researcher. That is citation.
Hello, sir. Sir, can you just differentiate the papers published in Web of Science and elsewhere?
See, sir, again, Web of Science is a indexing site. Elsewhere is a publisher. See, owner of Scopus indexing database is Elsevier. Okay, owner of Scopus database is Elsevier. Similarly, owner of Web of Science is Clarivate Analytics. So Elsevier, Clarivate Analytics are all like companies. These companies are running the indexing services like Scopus or Web of Science. So basically, they are all Elsevier is like a company it is a publication. Scopus, Web of Science, indexing. Okay, let me see.
Okay, because we have we have something called a Science Direct under NCR also. But we are not.
Which your university will give like mku.au.in, all such things. Some universities will have, some universities may not have. If you do not have, then university should only take steps, right, to proceed further.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, any more questions? I request any faculty member kindly give your valuable feedback about these 2 days session here.
Yes.
Kindly speak. Yeah.
I think that's what I have already answered, Ramkumar sir. Official mail is something which your university or the college should purchase from Google Workspace. Peer review is a review process. UGC is lacking, but UGC is telling these are all good journals. If you want to publish, you publish them. Peer reviewed is nothing but, in peer review we have so many things: single blind review, double blind review, open review, public review. Single blind means author does not know the reviewer, but the reviewer knows who is the author. That is single blind. Double blind means author does not know who is the reviewer and reviewer does not know who is the author. That is completely different, and this is completely different. Thank you so much.
Gautam sir, can you hear me, sir?
Now I can hear you, sir.
Yeah. So nice one, sir. And I think there are any more questions from the audience or participants. I request the participants, any one of the participants, kindly share your valuable feedback about these 2-day sessions, please.
Sir, I would like to talk. Raghavendra, sir.
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. Gautam, sir, very good information you have given for 2 days very patiently, giving various inputs and examples on plagiarism and how to overcome that, and what are the various websites and how we have to go with the research papers, and a very good information is given on single blind review and double blind review. Very informative session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, Gautam, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Sir, I am Miles. I am assistant professor in the Department of Commerce, PA, Dr. M.G. Parsons College, Coimbatore. So your presentation was very useful, sir. But in the current situation, the research scholars understand. So everybody has trouble to know what are the UGC, Catalyst, something, then Scopus, so everything. So your session will be cleared the so many doubts. So really happy to everybody get useful and informative. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your feedback.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Sir, I would like to thank Indian Institute of Management and Commerce, UG and PG College and Department of Library and Information Science for conducting such a great event for 2 days, 2 days National Online Faculty Development Program on plagiarism in academics, research and author identifiers. I would like to thank the management committee, and then I would like to thank Gautam sir, and I would like to thank the internal quality assurance cell and all the organizers. So the session was very wonderful, sir, and a special thanks to all the committee members, and I would like to thank Gautam sir as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Myself, Dr. Mohit. I am a research scholar in a dental college. So, sir, your session was very informative and a lot of new things we learned. Thank you, sir, for organizing such a great session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mohit, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We are listening to your peacefully. Because 6 to 8 is a convenient time us to listen your FDP, sir. And we learn more things from you. So we hope in future also we expecting more FDP like this. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, madam, for your valuable words.
Sir, this is Logamal from Gobi Arts and Science College, sir. Your session was very interesting and very informative session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
So good evening, sir. I am Lakshmi Priya. Recently, I have registered for the PhD program, sir. Previously, I thought it was a huge task. Unknowingly, I took this PhD registration, but now I got the clear idea about the plagiarism as well as how the citation will be taking place. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I am
Yes, Balakrishna sir, tell me, sir. I think your voice is breaking at the point of time.
On the call of this topic, today is very informative, useful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Latika from Excel Engineering College, Kumarapalayam, Namakkal District, Tamil Nadu. Actually, your session is too wonderful one, and it is a very informative one, sir. Thank you, Gaurav, sir, as well as Raghudrata. Thank you very much to you also for sending the mail to me personally. Thank you so much to organizing the committee too. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Feedback link is already posted in the chat box. So I request all of you kindly fill the feedback link, and you will be getting a certificate within 10 to 15 working days. Now I request Head Department of Commerce, Indian Institute of Management and Commerce, Shailaja madam, kindly propose vote of thanks for this today's session, madam. Madam, over to you, madam.
Yes, Raghavan. It's an honor to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked really to make this event of our institution IIT. I extend a vote of thanks.
A minute, madam. I request all of you kindly mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Yes, madam. Please proceed, madam.
on behalf of our institution IIMC, I extend a hearty vote of thanks to the speaker, Mr. Gautam, who spared time from his busy schedule, wherein we had an opportunity to get to know about plagiarism in academic research and author identifiers. Sir, this session was the need of the hour, as majority of the participants are research scholars and into research and into teaching profession. In this we have a lot of information which will truly help us in our research process. You have given deep insight into the topics and revealed some interesting facts. An event like this cannot happen overnight. We have been fortunate enough to be backed up by a team of very proactive and dedicated staff. A special mention to our respected principal, P.K. Raghuveer, for being the catalyst that stimulates to do our best. Sincere gratitude goes out to support system.
அதுக்குள்ள இருக்காது நம்ம காப்பி பண்ணி வச்சிருவோம்.
Session goes on without much technical. Last but not the least, Srimati G. person. Thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, madam. So thank you, Gautam sir. Personally, I have to thank you because when I requested you, you have immediately taken my request and you have in your free time in spite of your schedule and all. And let me thanks our principal sir, Sri Raghuveer Garu, for giving us this opportunity, for giving all the support, and the management of IIMC, the vice principals, Samit Sarkar madam and Tribhuvan sir, and my other faculty colleagues, and all the participants who have joined these 2-day sessions. And let me especially thank my technical partner, Vasu sir, because he has been with me for the last 2 days to operate this one on a grand level. So without any kind of disturbance, we have been getting this technical what we call session without any kind of interruption. Means it is only because of the efforts of Vasu sir. Thank you so much, all the participants. You will be getting your email ID with 10 to 15 days.
A small request to Gautam sir through organizers.
Yes.
If organizers could convince Gautam sir to send his PPTs to the audience, that would be very useful for the audience.
Sure, sir. Definitely, we will discuss.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir. Please, Gaurav sir, tell me.
Sir, actually, I am a PG student, so I am eligible for that or not?
Which one, sir?
For feedback form.
So you can fill up your the feedback form. Are you there in the last 2-day session?
Yes, sir. Yes.
No problem, sir. Just for the future purpose also, it will be more useful to you. You can fill up the feedback form, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. The feedback link is already shared in the chat box. So kindly fill it up and wait for the certificate. It will come to your email. Don't worry. And we are looking forward for more participation from all of you for our upcoming events, seminars, conferences, FDPs, workshops. Definitely we will inform you, and I request all of you personally kindly join and again experience the same kind of knowledgeable sessions in the coming days also. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. In the future also, we hope that we are having another wonderful session. Thank you, sir.
Definitely, madam. We will do it.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful session.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful session. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Have a nice
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, sir.
एक्सरसाइज करती हूँ
Sir, this is Tani Silva from Anamala University, research scholar. Session was wonderful and informative, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
गुड इवनिंग सर। सर मैं सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ जम्मू से रिसर्च स्कॉलर स्नेह देवी। मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप एक और एफडीपी करवाएं जिसमें आप रिसर्च के बारे में ज्यादा से ज्यादा हम स्कॉलर्स को नॉलेज दें।
जरूर मैडम, डेफिनेटली मैडम, डेफिनेटली मैडम।
योर एफडीपी इज